Hello, guys. Welcome back to the HCR2 Community Podcast. It's me, Juanito from Team Reddit, and as always, my co-host,
Hulkster from USA.
Now, funny story before we start. We were actually supposed to record this a day before, but being the idiot that I am, I got super drunk last night, literally passed out, lost my memory, started puking everywhere, checked my messages at like 3 in the morning, and I have 4x4 Actuary and Hulk all messaging me like, Juan, we're supposed to be recording. Where are you, man? Recording. And then I lost consciousness, basically.
Well, you need to join Team USA, and then your tolerance shoots through the roof. So then you would.
Yes, it's like I was preparing myself for this episode.
Yes, you were.
Well, Hulk, this time, since they're your teammates, I want to give you the honor of introducing them.
Alrighty, this is going to be a fun one. So, I'll do this one first. He's one of the least known top players in the game, but he's got his social media presence ready for his fans to flood him after this podcast. Mr. Mathman himself, Actuary.
And I like it.
The second guest here, his name has 4play in it, but he's not here for the gangbang, folks. Mr. 4x4play.
Who says? Lies.
That's exactly what he's here for.
That was in the contract.
Great intro, Hulk. Well done.
I appreciate it.
Oh, man, that's too good. All right, well, then please tell us, guys, about yourselves. I mean, even I've gotten to know you, but still new to me.
We'll let 4x4 kick it off.
Oh, we're not going in alphabetical order? Okay.
That's do numbers come before letters?
I think they do.
All right, fair enough. Let's see. 4x4play, I downloaded teams. I was actually late because I've never played an online social game before. I just, didn't really like people that would just like pull the plug mid-match if you were whooping their, can I say ass? I can say ass, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, all right, awesome. So if you're whipping somebody's ass and they pull the plug, that's super annoying, So that I just really never got into that. And, but I liked HCR. I played 1 a little bit. Then, when 2 came out, I was like, oh, this game's awesome. This is one of those games that you can pick up for 5 minutes, or in between, commercial breaks or something, and just have fun with it. So I did that, and then the team update came, and I was on the fence for about joining for a really long time. I actually didn't join until the end of April. I think it came out at the beginning of April 2018. And I think, probably like most people, I was a little naive, being the consummate noob. And I was like, oh, team number 1, try and join. Like, no space. Team number 2, no. I went down like about 10, 15 teams, and then I would, with no luck, and I said, you know what, forget it. And I just speed scrolled down like 2 or 3 times, and I ended up on team the pros actually. And man, that was a pure stroke of luck, because I joined that team, and it was an awesome team. The leader was trash, but the team was awesome. The leader was he wouldn't show up for days, and then he would come on, and literally first words he'd be like, all right, who am I kicking now? And he'd go off the and he'd go off the KM list on who he's going to kick. And it didn't matter if that person had just joined, say, yesterday, and had 50 KM. He would just kick the bottom 3 KM.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had this awesome co-leader. His name is Rick, and we set up Discord, which I think was kind of pretty new to the game at that time. Again, this was like late April. So we set up Discord, and we organized a mutiny, hence the team name Mutineers that came from that. Reset ourselves. Oh, by the way, that team that was in the pros, that was ranked, I think it was ranked 276 when I joined. In 2 weeks, it was number 8 with like 1,900 cups.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
wow.
all it took. 2 weeks, and 1,900 cups later, and boom, we were top 10 in the world. I think we got really lucky with matches. We had never lost a match, but then we mutinied, became mutineers, and it took about, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks back then to get ranked, to get to 10,000, and all up the way climbing the ranks, we acquired a lot of good people and made it up back up to the 30s, I want to say. Then got beat up a little bit, and during our climb, we had met another team called Happy Hour. Great group of guys, a lot like us, same humor, straight shooters, call it like you see it, take no crap kind of guys. And the teams were so similar, it was like a match made in hell. And so we did it, and it was a great move. It's actually, as far to my knowledge, it is that was the longest, most successful merge. There was another team that had just merged the next day called Persia Turks, but because they were top 10 or top 20, they got all the attention. We were kind of still basically a little bit unknown. And then the first week, we had huge wins over Noobs and IO and
EO. Remember, Reese told us.
EO and Oi, yes. So we had huge wins over EO and Oi. When we were playing EO and Oi, EO sent out a message to his team saying, "Hey guys, due to this merge team that we're playing, kicking our asses right."
Hello? Did he cut out?
Yeah, I think he did.
We just lost 4x4.
The bot muted him. Too many curse words.
Well, while we somehow get him back, unless he can hear us or not, because I can't even tell. Actuary, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I can jump in. So name's Actuary. Yeah, I started playing HCR2 kind of right when it first came out, because I originally played the first one. Got into the second one, was pretty heavy into it. I mean, I grinded quite a bit, and then I just kind of got bored of it and I stopped playing. And it wasn't until about, I'd say, 4 months after me not playing, that my son kind of picked up my phone one day, and this was when he was, I guess, 9 at the time. And he saw the app and he goes, "How come you don't play this one anymore, Dad?" And I said, "I just got tired of it, buddy. You want to play it?" And so sure enough, he grabs it and he goes in to start playing it. And he goes, "Dad, there's an update." And we download the update, and sure enough, Teams is now available. And so I had never been on a team. And so kind of jumping back into it, I joined, I think it was like one of the first teams I just saw had an opening, and it was a South African team. So the time zones for me were just completely off. But the guys were a lot of fun. And they did speak English, obviously being South Africa, so that did help there. But I had fun just kind of dinking around and kind of seeing what the teams play was like. And then I always kind of had my eye on, at that time, when I started looking for teams, was Bad Dads. At that point, they were a top 50 team in the U.S., and me being a father of 2 kids, I was like, Bad Dads seems like kind of a fun team for me to fit into. But I didn't have the requirements to get on that roster. So I kind of stuck it out with South Africa for this team for a couple months. And then once I got my account up to where it needed to be, I went over and tried to get on Bad Dads. Little did I know that a lot of the, I guess, heavy hitters of Bad Dads had kind of moved on. And so what was left wasn't the same, team as what I had hoped to get onto maybe a month or 2 before that. But I came in and I spent quite a bit of time with Bad Dads. I still have an alternate account. It's on Bad Dads still, because those guys, I think, they're a blast to play with. It's just a really good group of guys. But after spending about, 4 or 5 months on Bad Dads, I got hit up by a guy named Static, who was playing on Stars and Stripes, now USA. Turns out Static lives only like 45 minutes from me. So we kind of got to just chit-chatting about just life and living in Michigan. And, his wife is originally from Mexico, and my wife's parents were from Mexico. So, I mean, there was just a lot of stuff we kind of connected on. And Static likes to say, he was trying to recruit me, but it was a long dating process to try to get me to come over to the Stars and Stripes or to USA.
Yeah.
And he almost got me there. He couldn't quite close the deal. It wasn't until Murica showed up, came into Bad Dads one day, would change his name to Chief so nobody would recognize him because, Static and Murica were both former Bad Dads. So if they used their original names, it would have been known. But yeah, Murica came in and I'd been winning. I'd finished top of the podium on Bad Dads almost every event. And all of a sudden, Chief came in and kicked my butt in the very first event. And as someone who's competitive like me was like, dude, I just lost. What the hell? And sure enough, he kind of came forward after that. And he said, hey, my real name's Murica and I'm on USA or Stars and Stripes at the time. And, we'd love to have you. If you're interested in this kind of competition, every day, make the jump. And so sure enough, I said, yeah, give me a couple weeks just to get some stuff set up with the Bad Dads guys, get my alternate account up enough and bring it over. And then once that was ready, I made the jump and really haven't looked back. I mean, I'm kind of the best of both worlds right now. I've got one account on Bad Dads, which I really like and respect those guys. And they've got a great leader. And PD kind of runs that main team and he's awesome. But then I've also got my main account on USA, and I tell you what, it's like a family. It's like a band of brothers. I mean, we all have a lot of respect for each other because we're all really, really good players. But we give each other crap all day, every day. So it's a lot of fun in that sense.
And when did you join Stars and Stripes?
Oh, geez. I'd have to go back and look. Sometime last year.
It must have been just before I joined. I can't remember when I joined and when you joined, but it seems like forever. In HCR time, everything is fast forwarded. So
Yeah,
it feels like we've been there for years when it's probably only like 10 months.
So, Actuary, so you mean to tell me all I need to do to get you to come to Reddit is join USA with a fake name, beat you in the leaderboard, and then convince you to come?
Wait, before you answer that.
I would say, that might work. The problem is one of the things you said is you have to beat me, and I just don't know if you can. So,
damn it, that's true.
Also, if you followed the events from the past week that we just had, we're pretty good at sniffing out fake names.
Oh yeah, we just, was it like yesterday?
It was like 2 days ago.
2 days ago, somebody from Mexico decided they were going to be sneaky and try and get into the USA.
Is that what they're calling piano now?
Oh, we've got Mr. 4x4 back. Yeah. So Do you want to tell that story, 4x4?
Sure. You know me. I love stories. Let's see. So we had
before you do that, answer let's go back a step and just talk a little bit about the history of the two teams and maybe some successes that we may have had together and some failures that we may have had together and where we currently stand, and then kick into that story. That'd be a good segue.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And sorry, just before you start, you can skip over the failure of the merge with Nemesis. We know that was a wreckage. I don't know why you guys did that. So go on from there.
Hardest merge ever. Yeah. Okay. So by two teams, which two teams? Before I start throwing shots out.
let's say
fired shots.
Let's just say, since the two teams are both well known, let's say TNO and all the other names that they used to go by, and USA.
All right. Well, all right. Let's see. So, yeah, there was a bunch of mergers that had recently taken place. I forget off the top of my head who they were. I think Red Machine or Russia had merged, and it was around that time. And there was just a bunch of mergers. I think it might have been Ohaveto and Finland had just merged. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was Sisu and Finland had just merged. So to try and keep pace, we were looking at potential mergers. USA has tons and tons of depth. We've got so many good players. We've got a bunch of constant guys that are up there, and we have a bunch of guys that can hit anytime in any event. But we're just loaded with really, really good players. Vereshak team at the time had a lot of elite players, big hitters, but no depth. So on paper, the merge looked like it was going to be great. It would basically build a complete team with your group of super elites, and then the rest of like really, really talented guys. So we started negotiations for a merge, and they were going well. But as we got further along, we just kind of realized that the chemistry wasn't going to be there. One of them told me, "Oh, if I tell you that we've never cursed at all in any of our chats, I'm not lying to you." Whereas USA, we're just loosey goosey, say what you feel, speak your piece, and that's it. Speak your truth. We're not big on censorship. We're not big on telling guys what they can and can't do, can and can't say, who to talk to, who not to talk to. That's just not us. So what ended up happening is it just kind of fell through one night. We were just all like, you know what? We've got such an amazing team chemistry here, and just them being polar opposites in that respect, it's not going to work. Like I said a bunch of times, chemistry over cup. The game should be more than just winning. It should be about camaraderie, brotherhood, good times. Because when a team goes through tough times, you need to rely on those bonds to stay together and keep moving forward. So the merge fell through. It was like a Friday. The merge fell through, and then lo and behold, by Monday, they were merged with America. So that's how that came about. Now, there was also a part of TNO, the team called TRR, who was another American team, and we had what I considered like a friendly rivalry, I guess. So people on the outside, it might not have seemed that way, but to me, it was just a bunch of brash, straight-talking Americans talking smack to each other. And, that's what we do on our team with each other. We do it more with each other than anybody else. We're
true.
We're constantly talking trash to each other. That's why we get kind of surprised when other people take it so personally. It's like, wait a minute. I've told Hulkster off way more times than what I just did. And if you're going to get mad at a little gamesmanship and a little joking, then you've got a tough life ahead of you. That's just my opinion. It's just it's nothing personal or anything like that. But they had attempted to merge with us. They were going through a hard time, and we just couldn't give them the numbers that they wanted. I couldn't do it. It's not like I had offered, 25, and then as talks went on, I was like, no, you know what, let's do 20, 30. Oh, well, you know what, really, we're looking at it in 15. It was like, no, I offered them what I could. It didn't work for them, which is fine. They went on to merge with Elite Latina to become America, and then that team merged with Vereshak to become TNO. So we have history with some of the guys there. Now, I guess they had tried to put this guy Master applied to the team, and
so now we're fast forwarded to 2 days ago.
So yeah. Fast forward 2 days ago. This guy Master, Monster. Sorry, Monster.
Monster, yeah.
This guy Monster applied to get on the team, and should I divulge how we how we rooted him out?
No.
Yeah, I mean, Hulk, you can tell like how, or maybe not the method, but because you came asking for our opinion in the mod channel, right?
I did. So I said, hey, there's a guy looking to apply to the team. He has a good score. He wasn't there 2 days ago when Nemesis played against the Wasted Aces. So, that was like alarm bell number one. Number two, he's playing with a flag of America, but he said he's from Sweden. A lot of little things like that didn't sound right. So
Right.
I came to the mod channel, asked, hey, give me some, what do you guys do? when you got a feeling that someone might be a mole trying to get on your team. And you gave me some good advice. And lo and behold, we started doing some digging, and we found out that it was Harry from TNO trying to place one of his alts on USA for whatever reason, whether it be to get on our server, to find our match time, to see scores, who knows.
Wait, Hulk, of course you know why he was trying to get in. He wanted to live the American dream.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? But when you look at the history of this specific account, you see he was living the German dream, he was living the Colombian dream, he was living the Mexican dream, you name it, different name, different flag, depending on the day of the week. So yeah, that was the end of that story.
Well, it kind of wasn't the end of that story, because there was some fallout from our investigation and finding out the truth. But that USA is all about the truth. If we see bullshit, we're gonna call bullshit, and some people don't like that about us, But I always tell my guys, like, hey, listen, you know what? As long as what you're saying is true, I will defend you with my last breath. We're as transparent and honest as any team in the game, and sometimes the truth hurts, but that's not our problem. You tried something, it's not looked on favorably for obvious reasons. You got caught, own it. But some people just love to lean on that plausible deniability of oh, we had no idea.
Oh, they're adults. They can deal with themselves.
Yeah.
We don't know anything, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, sure.
A little slap on the wrist and move on.
Right. So that was kind of that story. But yeah, USA, like I was trying to say before with like USA, we've been around as this unit since September. Late September 2018, and been going strong. Along the way, we've picked up some groups of players, some really great American teams like Bad Dads. I think Actuary was saying Easy Huckleberry was another group that, another team where we picked up a bunch of guys. And, I guess here we are. Rick passed on leadership of Mutineers to me sometime late 2018. And, when I downloaded this game with teams on the toilet in 20 in April, on the toilet, and I downloaded the Teams app, I would have never thought that it would have ended up, the way it is. That I'd be like leading USA in global HCR wars ever, never in a million years. Because like I said, this is the first online game I'd ever even tried. So that was something. But one thing leads to another. As a leader, you do the best for the guys that do their best for you, and because they deserve it. And so here we are.
And I want to get back to something you mentioned about the way you guys at USA run your own team. It's no bullshit. You say the truth. You say what you think. You protect each other no matter what, which I fully support. But I wanted to ask, from your point of view, how do you think, I'm not going to say the rest of the community, but how do you think people outside of USA team see USA? And if it's whether positive or negative, do you care in any way?
Do I care? No. You know what? I care about the 49. Like I said, I care about the 49 guys that do their best for me and for each other every day. That's my primary care right there. Just those guys. Outside of that, it's mixed. I find that people either love us or they hate us. People either recognize who we are and why we do what we do, and they respect that because we're true to ourselves. Which I respect that. I don't care who or what you are. If you're true to yourself, I respect that. But then you have others that because they're fans of somebody that we might have called out for BS, then they're like, oh, well, you're bullies and you're so toxic. And it's like, well, wait a minute, listen, I understand that that people have their norm, what they think is right and how they think people should act. But that's not our norm, Like FU is a standard greeting in USA, it's true, It's like or go F yourself, like it's like, yeah, okay, go F yourself too. But that's just how we are with each other, because we have it sounds odd, but it's actually a level of respect. It's like, if I mess with you on that level, it's because I like you.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree totally. Just to jump in, my take on the team camaraderie is, if you give it, be prepared to take it, because everybody is going to come give it back to you. But it comes out of kind of a friendly place, so it's just fun banter.
Yeah.
But I have noticed, we do have a couple guys on the team that I'd say are a little more quiet, maybe not on Discord and not as vocal. And for the most part, they get treated, respectfully. So really, it comes down to, if you want to be vocal and dish it, be prepared to take it, because you're going to get it back, in the same manner that you're trying to give it. So the louder mouth you are, the more you're going to get coming back to you. But it makes it a lot of fun.
Right. And
go ahead, PJ.
No, I was just going to say, if you are one of those people that can give it and take it, that earns the other person's respect. It's almost like when you go out back and you fight it out in the out in the back in the playground of the school, and then you're best friends after that. Kind of an analogy like that. Like, okay, as long as you're willing to receive what you get, okay, no problem.
Yeah, I think the best example for that inside of USA is probably Nestor.
So
Nestor pisses a lot of people off, but when you get to know Nestor, you see where it's coming from. It's nothing out of malice. It's nothing to try and ruin your day. It's just him, poking fun at himself. At you himself. He pokes fun at everybody. So you can't take it personal.
I agree, yeah.
Nestor, Krill, Zeke, they're all. That's
Zeke is
true.
mine now. I'm sorry.
I can't. Oh, he's yours for the time being. We let him feel it out and see what it's like, in Hollywood, and he'll come back. Here's a question for Actuary. Speaking of the guys in our team, can you go through a few more memorable, I would say, matchmaking stories?
Yeah, so we've got quite a few funny matchmaking stories because our team is just full of characters that like to mess with each other. But I think my favorite one has to be the Krill and Tiggs story. So Krill's a co-lead on the team, and 4x4 says, we are in the midst of a lot of the top 4 or 5 teams are ready to match right around us. So we're gonna kind of delay. We've got another team we really want to play. We're gonna wait and see if we can snipe that team and have some fun with them. So everyone's waiting patiently except for Krill. Krill then promotes Tiggs to co-leader, changes his name to Tiggs, starts matchmaking as Tiggs, changes his name back to Krill, and then immediately posts in the chat, "Tiggs, what are you doing? We're supposed to be delayed."
Bro, that's so epic.
And even changed his avatar and everything, so it looked like it was Tiggs that started it. And yeah, so that was that's my favorite matchmaking story, and I don't know if Krill still has authority to start matchmaking, or if we remove that, because
he does.
He's been the center of a few of these stories.
Krill does what's called no balls. He will challenge someone to matchmake when we're not supposed to matchmake, and what was it last week? He said to EC Tug or Nuts, he said, "Tugs, no balls," and he said, "Well, I'm not even a co-leader. I can't match." And then 2 seconds later, he's promoted to co-leader. No balls. So that's like that's why we have 74 co-leaders in a 50-man roster. And there's also a good story with Leroy Jenkins. That's a good one too.
let me
Yeah, I was
let
going
me
to
take
ask
that
you
one
about that
over,
one.
please.
Yeah, PJ can take that one.
Leroy effing Jenkins. I don't know. I don't know if any of you, Juanito, you might be familiar with the Leroys. It was a famous YouTube video.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
good.
course. Oh, wow.
So you know the backstory there. So it was a similar situation. You know, we were in a sick, just we were in a pool of killers, and it was like, okay, listen, we're gonna do this. We're gonna wait a little bit, see how long this team, takes to match, because I'm not sure how long that they were searching last time. But if this team becomes available, we might go then. I'll keep an eye on this team because they've been known to make long jumps. Da da da. And I was like, oh, we're probably going to be looking at about a 30-minute delay. And next thing you know, Krill changes his name to Leroy Jenkins, and he goes, Leroy Jenkins, bang, and hits oh, let's go, Leroy Jenkins, bang. And I'm like, seriously? Like, I'm laying out this plan. It took me like all night to figure out, do the math, the numbers, everything, and I'm trying to explain it to him, and he just blows it up.
Oh my God!
So
man.
it was like Leroy
you
Jenkins.
mentioned.
Nestor says LMAO, and then the next one was 4x4 saying seriously.
But
Now,
sorry, but you know what the thing is though? There's a lot of teams out there where if they did that, if the co-leader did that, it would be death. They would be death. He would probably kick. I mean, Juanito, you know how.
Yeah, I was just about to say, man. Like, I would have probably been demoted from co-leader.
Right.
Now it's
Give
just
it back.
Now it's just the blanket statement: no Leroys this time.
Yep.
Especially in the top team scene where like it's taken so seriously. I'd have to say we're one of the loosest top 10 teams in the game, if not the loosest. We can laugh about that, and that's what makes the game at USA so much fun, is because we can laugh about that. We're that kind of team where it's just like,
Yeah, that's
all
true.
right, well, let's rock.
Actually, I just wanted to bring this up because you mentioned, you still put in the effort to do the math and try and figure out the best way to match. And we talked in the past on a Discord call, and Hulk mentioned that Actuary is a math genius and he does like a bunch of data for the team. But I want you, Actuary, to tell me more about what you guys do in the USA, because I thought it was really unique the way, at least what Hulk described on how you do like your player averages, and like you can predict how much somebody's going to score the next event, and it's pretty accurate, like dead on.
Yeah. So first off, Hulk, bless his heart, was probably oversold it a little bit, but for the most part, what it stemmed from was we weren't tracking scores for a while, at least not publishing anything, and then some guys kind of commented that they wanted to see kind of scores being tracked, and next thing you know, it turned into like a debate for the next 2 days on our Discord channel of what do you track? You just track the average score, and then well, what about like, do you only count it against? Do you care about how the other team scored? That do you only count like matches that really matter because other matches people don't try? What about 5 events versus 4, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So me being an actuary, which for those people who don't know, I'm basically a glorified math nerd for an insurance company. I got to kind of crack it on it, and it was just like, okay, so really what you want to do is measure player performance relative to some consistent standard. And so what I started to do was just think about, if you look at past scores, we have some events where, best players in the game are hitting, 39K on a 4-stage event. And then we had one just a few weeks ago that was a time attack one where you had to basically set world records on every course to get to 10K on each stage. And so best scores were like 35K, right? So you could definitely see if you just took an average score for a player, it would be heavily influenced by the event and which ones they played and which ones they didn't. So what I kind of came up with was I said, well, you should really measure people relative to kind of the average score for the team, right? So how many points better or worse were you than the average? But after kind of going down that rabbit hole a little bit, I realized that there's events where scores are very clustered and there's events where scores are really spread out. I mean, we had one, I'll say a month and a half ago, that almost everybody on the team hit 10K 3 of the stages. And it all came down to that 1/4 stage. And so all the scores were tightly clustered. And if you're in a battle with the team, 1 point or 2 points on the scoreboard could mean 2 or 3 spots. And so I said, really what we should look at is standard deviation. So how much of a standard deviation are you better than the team? And so we started tracking that. And so now I've basically got stats on all our guys that says, here's how much they perform better than the standard deviation on the team. So when we have an event like we do now, where let's say, I don't know, the average scores, let's say just 33K. If standard deviation is 3,000 and one player scores typically one standard deviation better than average, then that's 3,000 plus the 33, they'd be expected to produce a 36. And so now we can kind of just track like who had a good event compared to what they've historically performed at. And so we track a lot of different metrics, other things like, how many times somebody finishes on the podium, their top finish, their average team rank, points earned. I mean, we track all that stuff, but kind of our internal power ranking metric is really, your standard deviation relative to the team. And so that's kind of what we track. And it's a pretty good measure. I mean, I find a lot of times, I'm competing against, we got so many heavy hitters on USA. We got guys that are consistently up there, 718, Murica, Big Al, VTech. These guys are always up on the leaderboard, but then we always have, as PJ said, we've got guys that just out of nowhere, they'll lay low for a couple of weeks and all of a sudden they get the event that is right up their alley and just absolutely crush it. Basil, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, comes to mind.
Right.
We had a good one a few while back when we played Vershak before the merger, where out of nowhere Big D came in at the very end and took top spot.
I remember that.
Big D is Mr. Clutch. That guy literally has ice in his veins. I call him Big Game Big D for a reason. He's like, any time you have a big game, whether it be against Vereshak or Unity or Poland or a team like that, he always lays down a huge one. So
I mean, you look at him kind of in our overall rankings, and he's kind of in that 15 to 20th spot, but he's never that far down in the big matches, man. He always comes through up near the top.
Yeah, that's Mr. Clutch, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, overall, we just we track a lot of different metrics, and there's ways that you can use them to kind of predict performance, and it's neat. I mean, there's a lot of math and stats behind it, but that's because that's kind of the world I live in. So I enjoy it, and most other people would probably hate it or just kind of gloss over the details.
When I took over the team, and I'm thinking, okay, as leader, how are we going to build this team? What are we going to build? What are we going to be? The main thing I wanted to do was I wanted to balance performance and fun. So that's a lot. Like a lot of people might not realize that from our Discord antics and our tips with this team or that team. But we actually, even though we have a lot of fun and we have some Leroy Jenkins moments, we actually are really serious about performance also. So that's why we put in the work to track teams, track our statistics, our performance. Our Discord, the way our Discord is organized is amazing. I mean, I could spend the next half hour breaking that down, but needless to say, it's very, very organized and extensive at the same time. But we put in the work because that's the thing. Everyone wants to be top 10, but you need to put in top 10 work too.
That's true, and I do have a question for 4x4 about the Discord server. It's a little bit different than the Discord servers that I've been on in the past. Can you go through a few of the unique USA Discord channels?
Unique USA Discord channels. Okay. Well, there's obviously everyone's favorite 18 plus.
Which I, for some reason, don't have access to.
I think actually Mecco quit the Fair Play mods just to get access to that channel.
That's what he said. That is what he said. That's how valuable that channel was to him.
Priorities.
He left his prestigious position at Fair Play just for that channel.
So I better get the access to those channels soon, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. all you need to do is send us your ID. You can block out your name, of course, but send us your ID, some scores, and you need to send a photo of yourself biting the head off of a rat.
Yes.
Everyone does it, so,
I don't know, I'll do it happily, man. Okay, well, now I want to get in a bit of a serious
hang tight. There are
we got some more channels than just 18 plus to touch on.
Yeah, I know that was
what
just
is this?
The one that everyone seems to like. Okay, I'll try and go through it quick. Let's see. There's 18 plus. There's Crew Picks, which has been amazing for
huge.
Yeah, it's great. We send everything from pet pictures, personal pictures. Guys will cars, and then that'll start a whole car thread or pet thread or fireworks, because we love our we love our explosives here in the United States. So that's guns, of course, and then we have a gun channel too, so guys can show off their toys there. Oh gosh, let's see, unique to USA. Politics, yes, because we believe in freedom of speech, and you can feel however you want, whatever your belief is, that's fine, and you're more than welcome to share them. We don't believe in censorship, as long as respect is maintained. It can get a little tense and heated, but again, when you have a respectful debate with somebody, that's another way that you can earn their respect. So that's actually that's a thing that not a lot of teams want to even risk, and they'll actually say, well, no, we don't talk about that here. But that's not USA. We talk about whatever you want to talk about, as long as you maintain the respect of your teammates, which we do, and it's why we are so close as a team. Let's see, what else? Verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse, yes.
What is that?
Oh, verbal abuse, yes.
It's verbal abuse. No, but basically it's the voice chat channel that we have. And when we mob the PE, sometimes we'll do it through that. It makes it easier to pass setups and whatnot, and we usually do it. We usually mob the PEs late at night here in the U.S., so pretty much everybody on that call is intoxicated, and it gets interesting.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more, but in the interest of time, those are basically the high points that I can think of.
Yeah, if I could.
Well, I have new ideas for Reddit now.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I could jump in on the Crew Picks one, I think that one is definitely unique. So many people treat these online games as it's anonymous, right? You're just an avatar and a screen name, and you don't really get to know really the people you're playing with. USA is different. I mean, that Crew Picks channel is kind of put faces to names for everybody. And it also took on a little bit of its own earlier this year when I think we were asking around. We kind of played a game where you just kind of call somebody out on the team and they'd have to post a picture of themselves. And then they call somebody else out, and then, and it kind of keep going until you go through the whole team. Well, it only took a few of those until the picture that came back, I don't know who started it, was just a picture of them flipping off the camera. Yes. And so then they called somebody out, and the next person responded with a picture of them flipping off the camera. And it took on a life of its own. So next thing you know, we had the entire roster of USA guys basically flipping the camera off. And of course, being USA, we don't stop there. We put a little bit of work into it and turned that whole thing into a Christmas card of nothing but our ugly mugs with the flipping the bird. And it just basically says Merry Christmas from USA.
Merry Christmas. It's not all it says. That's the
family show.
Yeah, that's the family.
I'm keeping it PG.
Oh man, that's pretty epic. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to change the subject for a moment.
Sure.
But this is for 4x4.
Okay.
I talked with Hulk behind the scenes a little bit, and I wanted to know, where do you see yourself in the future in terms of the game and your position within USA? Like, are you thinking of passing the leadership role
Yeah.
someday, or what possible candidates would you have for
Well,
that?
the reason I brought that up is because we were talking in voice. I don't know. We chat like sisters, just for no reason at all. So we were chatting and we were talking about how, who are some of the long-standing leaders in the game that have been around forever. There's very few that have led a top team for as long as you have, and stay competitive, and always have the drive every 2 days to worry about matchmaking and recruiting, and that it's we just kind of want to know, what's the end game? What do you see? Is it still fun? Is it still motivating? That kind of thing.
It is motivating. I mean, I think Hulk, you've gotten to know me. Actuary, the guys on US have gotten to know me, and I think they'll all say that I'm nothing if not genuine. So when I say that these guys are like my brothers, I mean it. They're like family for me, and I'll do anything for family. I will do more for family than I do for myself. So, and people say like, oh, it's just a game, it's virtual, the people are virtual. Okay, but the obligation to these guys is real enough for me. So, I mean, I've always thought about, oh, well, maybe it would be nice to go to some unranked team with my low 30K score and be a god down there, something I'm not. And there's a certain appeal in that, just being anonymous and just, laying down the score and putting my phone down for the next 4 hours, there's, a bit like you said, I've been doing this so long that there is an appeal to that idea for me. But as long as USA needs me, I'm going to be with USA in whatever capacity they need me in. If it's leading, if it's just matchmaking, if it's networking, basically whatever it is. As long as they need me, I'll be here. Now that said, that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to set them up for the day. Maybe I'm not there, looking for that perfect opportunity to ride off into the sunset. But we're not there yet. There's still a lot of work that I think that I want to do. I think needs to be done. So at least in the near future, I don't see me handing over the reins. But that's also not to say that there aren't a lot of capable guys. I've said it before. USA is a team full of people that would be leaders, effective, good leaders on any team in the game. They look at our roster and they see that, oh man, they have a lot of co-leaders. Let me tell you, there could be more, a lot more. It's so hard actually to attain co-leader position because there's just so many guys. But it would be kind of ridiculous to have 40 out of 50 co-leaders. So that's the only reason really that keeps us from promoting some guys. It's just like it would get ridiculous. But like guys like Actuary off the top of my head, he could absolutely do the job and do it well. Hulk is another one. I'm not trying, not just because
just because they're here.
I need it. My goodness, there's just a lot. VTech's got a really good head on his shoulders.
I think the hardest part though is I think a lot of people don't realize just how much 4x4 does for the team. I mean, he does everything, everything behind the scenes. Big hats off to him for that. We don't keep him around for a score. I'll just put it that way.
But he could be if he put all the other stuff aside and said, I want to be an elite player. That's possible too. He just does so much work that's not game related, that's like indirectly affecting every single thing that we do in the game.
Yeah, and you know what? I wanna touch on that a little bit because, as you mentioned, I think especially in the top teams, there's a lot of players that have been there since the beginning of the game, and we have slowly seen them sort of go down on their position and leave it to somebody else because, whether it be that their scores went down and they don't feel like they have been doing enough for the team to be there. I mean, like a notable example for me is Nordberg, who, I mean, just like you say, for 4x4, he does everything and he's an amazing leader. That's exactly how I saw Nordberg. He did absolutely everything. And believe it or not, Nordberg in the past used to be a top three player, constantly getting into the standings in the past. But again, as a leader, you start doing so much more than just playing the game. I think you get to a point where you're spending more time on Discord and other stuff than the actual game.
Yeah.
So, and this is from your point of view, 4x4. I wanted to ask you, what sort of advice would you have for maybe even smaller teams, the leaders, to maybe avoid that type of thing? Because I think I've seen it a lot happening. I mean, even off the top of my head, I can think of a team like Discord, who, I mean, the main leader is 42, but even he has said that he doesn't really run the team anymore. It's basically Notch.
I think that I'm more in of a Nordberg situation than a 42, because, like the guy said, I do. I guess I might have a little bit of a micromanaging problem. I don't know, but I do spend a lot of time on Discord and tracking teams and doing all that other stuff, and that's what kind of led to the decline in my scores. But another reason also is because through my work on Discord, it's also recruiting, a lot of recruiting. So I recruit guys, and I just look bad by comparison to the guys that I recruit. I've been recruiting over the past year and a half. So,
oh wow,
yeah, no, because that's part of being a team leader. Recruiting. 42 has Notch. Notch is relentless with his recruiting, but he's relentless. But yeah. So, as you recruit really, really, really top talent, you're going to go down by comparison. My advice for leaders coming up to, I would just say avoid that situation, avoid suffering in scores because of the work that leadership requires. Was that the question?
Yeah, my question is sort of like, what advice would you give to a leader, especially maybe of an upcoming team, to maybe avoid that? I want to say it's what's the best word?
Like burned out before
Burnout. Yes, that's it. Burnout. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, 5-hour energy shots are good. Take your vitamins, say your prayers. But no, delegation obviously is good, and the earlier you do that, the better off you're going to be. There's things that honestly only I can really do just because of the network I've personally established, contacts that I have, that know me, that work with me, and it's kind of hard to say, okay, well now, you can work with this guy and you can work with this guy because they haven't developed that rapport and the bond. So, not to say that they can't, but delegation is good.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. Like, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, you tell me. Do the co-leaders in USA have their own sort of jobs and sort of things that they are in charge of?
Well, yeah, you have Actuary who handles the metrics. Moss gives him an assist with that. Let's see. Hulk has his thing with fair play and networking also. Like I said, I never really expected the team to grow into what it did. It was just me helping a bunch of my friends do well in a game, to the best of my abilities. So that's kind of where I put my focus. It was like, okay, well, look, I'll handle the support work, the back channel work. You guys focus on playing and improving to basically back up the shit that I talk while I support them and do the back channel stuff. That was what I wanted them to have fun. I wanted them to get better, and I wanted them to focus on their skills. So that way, as a team, we would be successful because I would handle the legwork, the back channel, the support, and they would just be constantly getting better and getting better and getting better. And like I said, backing up the shit that we talk all the time.
That's true.
So
do you want to get to some?
I was going to say, they always say a good leader is someone who helps their team succeed. It's not about the leader getting the recognition and then being the top dog. And in that sense, 4x4 has done that. I mean, he's brought in a lot of heavy hitters, and we have a great team of guys, and he's constantly working hard to make it to where we can succeed. Be a good representative of him.
That's what I was touch on was that my goal was to also create a platform where these great guys and these great players would be able to showcase their skills and expand and into what they want to take themselves, like with Hulk and the podcast. Make a great team, give them a good platform where you can get recognition, Actuary too, and they can play the game and they can be out there as a known player on a top team, and that gives me a lot of personal satisfaction when I see these guys finally getting the recognition they deserve because of the platform that we've created for them, and their drive, their desire, their talent, and the platform that we've created.
Fair enough. Well, Hulk, what do you think about setting up for some questions from the public?
Sounds perfect.
Oh well, actually.
So I say
they're just. Actually, I was thinking. Let's play a game.
Okay.
Oh, I remember this.
Because I want to get to know you, Juanito, and I want to get to know Hulkster a little better. But the history is already been covered. So let's get to some interesting things. All right. Have you ever heard of a game called Two Truths and a Lie?
Yes, sir.
So I don't have to. I don't have to explain. All right. Well, for those who don't know, you ask somebody. Well, somebody will tell you 3 things about them. 2 will be true. 1 will be a lie, and it can get very interesting. So I'll start. All right, and you guys can guess which ones are true and which ones are a lie.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, right? Okay. So let's see. I was on a championship football team at one time. I flew my first plane when I was 12. And I've never used a female skin and name on a recruiting trip in HCR.
Okay. I feel like they're all true.
The football thing is fake.
Yeah, I was gonna say the football because it's not football. It's hand
what?
egg,
What do you call it?
Hand egg.
Oh, I thought you said something else. I was like, no, that's something close to the tissue.
No, because football you play with your foot and a ball. American football is your hands and basically what looks like an egg.
Hand egg. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't hear that one. Okay. Well, no. Actually,
which is it?
I was on a championship football team. I did fly my first plane when I was 12. I saw the movie Top Gun and wanted to be a fighter pilot, and pursued that for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah. But the lie is that I've never used a female skin and on a recruited trip in HCR. I absolutely have, because. But what's funny though? It was never good. Anything dirty. It was just it's funny how guys will respond to the female skins and the name. If they think they're talking to a girl, much more receptive.
That's good. That's good though.
I like it.
Well, you know what? Since he mentioned something about a pilot, I'll go next.
Yeah,
If you don't
absolutely.
mind. All right. So, the first time I flew a plane, like flew by, like me in the controls, was when I was 7. I also played professional football up until I was
Hand egg?
18. No, this was actual football, soccer, as you may call it. And I reached top 3 in Reddit constantly.
Oh, that one's
Oh,
easy.
That was easy. The last one's a
Number-
lie.
Yeah, the last one's a lie.
You really,
Damn it.
you
Too
really
easy.
flew the plane when you were 7?
Yeah, because my dad is also a pilot. On his last flight, he let us come into the cockpit. I mean, his last flight back in his old airline, and he let us sit on his lap, and we disconnected the autopilot and just flew for a little bit.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what led me to
It's a
become
great,
a pilot.
you are a pilot. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
Now you
That's
know.
awesome. Yeah, I wanted to, but then this was before LASIK, and I had bad vision. So then once I knew that I wasn't going to be able to fly the F-15s like Tom Cruise, I got into aerospace engineering. And then when I realized that that was going to be behind, 90% behind a desk, I left that and pursued other avenues. But yeah, that was always a passion of mine too, flying. Great.
You could have gone into the commercial side. You don't need the
Yeah, I know,
perfect
but like I
eyesight.
said, we like explosives here in the United States.
You want it to be like
Explosives on a
Maverick.
commercial plane aren't good things.
Who's next?
I can go if you want.
Sure, absolutely.
So none of my 3
Go
have to
ahead.
do with flying, so I'm going to break that trend right now. I am going to give you two other facts about me before I get into the 3 truths, just so you've got some additional ammunition as you try to figure out what's the lie. I grew up in Los Angeles area in California, and I am a 5'9" white guy. So with those 2 things out there, these are my 3 statements. I learned how to drive in a race car. I could dunk a basketball in high school. I have a relative who's a Hollywood actor.
Wow.
Relative.
Oh wow,
That's my
hard.
guess. Relative who's a Hollywood actor, it's a lie.
I'm going to say
the
that. Actually, I'm going to say
5'9", that's short.
the race car is a lie.
Ooh, so we're all different. All right.
I like it. The lie is the Hollywood actor.
Oh,
I grew up around race car tracks because my dad was an off-road race car driver. And
awesome.
when I was 12 years old, we were out in the desert area, and he said, "I'm going to teach you how to drive, and rather than putting you on a road where I'm liable if you hit somebody, we're going to take the race car out in the desert, and you're going to just learn how to drive out here, where the only thing you can hit is a bunny rabbit or a bush." And so that's how I learned. That's how I learned how to
really
drive.
awesome.
And then, in high school, I could dunk a basketball even though I was only 5'9".
It's amazing.
Unfortunately,
That's
that was
crazy.
before kind of the whole YouTube took off, so I have no video evidence, unfortunately, to support it.
Ah,
Oh, of course.
You're athletic, and you are a monster in HCR. I hate you.
He's
Probably.
good looking as
I'm
well.
not athletic anymore. I'm an actuary. I sit behind a desk for 8 hours a day, so unfortunately, I don't look the way I did in high school.
all right. I'm still.
Oh, you're
This
next.
is like on the fly thinking, but okay. So, fact number 1: I have an obsession with Jeeps, specifically Jeep Wranglers. Fact number 2: I played the piano very seriously as a younger person. Fact number 3: I actually have 3 accounts in HCR2 that one of them nobody knows about.
I call BS on the third account.
Let's see. What was the second one again?
I played piano.
Oh, you played piano. Well, due to our crew picks page, I can eliminate one of those. So yeah, I call the piano. The piano is.
I'm going to call the third account.
Okay, so fact number one, you guys know I have a Jeep obsession, so that's a fact. Fact number two, I did play the piano for several years, pretty seriously. So the
Okay.
third account, I would never be able to keep secret. I would be making fun of you guys on my third account, noob GP, schooling you guys. So, so you know that's fake.
Awesome. Fun game.
That was really fun, actually. I think that's a good way to break the ice.
That was really fun. I never knew you played the piano. That's awesome.
I did.
You're going to have to compose some music for one of our videos.
No, those days are behind me.
He's now a famous podcaster.
So let's get some questions from the guests. And I don't even know if there's a serious and a not serious. There's so many questions here that it's just like jumbled together. But
start off easy.
So very easy one. Let's see. This one is from a familiar face by the name of Krill.
Oh boy.
His question for 4x4 is, who was a bigger pain in the ass, Nestor or Krill?
Oh my God. Whichever one of them is online at the time.
Yep.
But what if it's both?
Then it's a hard tie. It really is. You know, we don't care. Whichever one of them is posting at the time. Yeah, they're both up there. They're both super characters. But you know what? Those two I really feel are like the heart and soul of USA. You know, those two are kind of exactly what we were about. You know, with just loosey goosey, speak your piece, sharp wit. And you know, both of those guys would also give you the shirt off their back. So yeah, they're to me those two are like the heart and soul of USA.
Okay. Well, this is also from a familiar face, Tommy from Team USA. He says 4x4. Bang, marry, or kill. Actuary, Nestor, Hulkster.
Wow.
Kill. Okay, it was bang, marry, kill. Actuary, Hulkster, and who else?
Nestor.
Well, I wouldn't bang Nestor because I would need like 15 shots after that. So I'd probably kill him to prevent the spread of God knows what. Krill.
No, not Krill.
Actuary and Hulkster. Okay. All right. So definitely marry Actuary because, like I said, he's freaking Superman, athletic, smart, and all that. And I guess that leaves.
I knew you had a thing for me. I knew it. You asked me for all these crew picks all the time. I knew it.
Amra's gonna get jealous now, Hulk.
Okay, so speaking of Amra, this one is for well, I guess this is just another question for 4x4 since she asked, is it true that you agreed to a merger with Nemesis just so she can finally be your teammate?
No, I agreed to the merge with Nemesis so that way we could fill our diversity quota.
There
we were getting pressure, and so I needed to find a team with a woman on it, and it was it.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, well, I'm gonna get a little bit more on the serious side. This is from Shane, so now a new member of the USA
buddy.
family.
Well, you know what? Not so new because he actually played on Mutineers a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. So this is a question for both of them, actually. He wants to know, who do you think is the best player in USA, and how well do they think we will do after the merge?
The best player in USA. That is incredibly hard because, like we touched on, there's just so many guys. Anybody can hit out. Like Fazil is just, if Fazil wants to, Fossil will be at the top of the board. You know, and he just needs to be interested. He's kind of just the kind, he's the kind of guy that he's like, all right, give me a tough team and I'll punch him in the face. But if it's just going to be a smash and grab, I'm not going to go all out. But talent wise, he's right up there with 718, Actuary, America, VTech. Gosh, I know I'm forgetting somebody. I'm going to hear about it later, but
you're forgetting me. I'm sure it's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have Hulk. The best.
I think you got to put Nestor's name in that hat. He's definitely up there.
Man. Only after he's been drinking. That's so hard. Like it's. I don't know. I guess I'd have to go with including the scores that he gets, the scores that he gets, and the things that he does, all the work he does behind the scenes, with the metrics and communicating with others outside the team. I mean, actuary, I guess. But
I'm flattered.
It depends on the day. Like it really does. It depends on the day. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to be evasive, but it just does.
I think that you're probably right. I think in terms of actual just like raw talent, Faisal is probably the best. When we play against a tough team, he's always up there with anybody in the game. And then in an event where we have an easy opponent, he probably won't even run a ticket. Like there's just he's not interested in playing a match like that. If you challenge him, he'll like I think America challenged him to hit 39 something,
and he did.
And he did. He's like, I was challenged to hit 39K, so he just runs a ticket and hits 39 something. Other than that, he would have just sat there with a dash in his name at the bottom of the leaderboard the whole event.
Yeah, he'll pick it up, no video, run it and kill it. Like he's scary like that.
All right. So what do you think, Actuary?
So, this it is a hard question to answer, and I'll just say, I think if you're looking for someone consistently up near the podium at the top, the two names that kind of come to my mind are 718 and Big Al, kind of a new member of the team. Those two guys, you're never going to find them like worse than 7th or 8th on the team. They are just consistently near the top. Doesn't matter what event it is, they're going to be there. But that being said, Faisal comes to mind again for, if he cares and it's a certain event. I mean, he just comes in with just an unbelievable score where I look at it and I go, I'm going to burn a dozen tickets trying to get to that score. I mean, right. He just knocks it out the park when he wants to, and on certain type of events just seem to suit his skill set really well, and he just puts up just ridiculous monster scores when those happen.
Caveat: this is not some recruiting trip that Juanito is going to go on after this for Reddit. He's taking notes right now. He's already telling
try and sneak in.
Who is it? Swiss Cheese. He's like, okay, all right, here we go. Next. What's Faisal's handle again? Just out of curiosity.
I think his handle. No, I think his Discord handle is FU Reddit 6428.
Yes.
Speak. That reminds me, Hulk. Do you remember when he had his alt account on another team, and as a joke, he changed his name to I think it was Faisal. Somebody on our team put Faisal is USA.
Yes, I remember that. That was when I was on ST412. Faisal had his second account there. Zeke may have had his second account there too. And then we happened to match Stars and Stripes. And Faisal got a little grief for it, maybe called a sniper or setting him up. And Faisal left the team. And then I think it was Bra or someone changed their name to Faisal is SS1. I remember that very clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro with the names. Yeah, he definitely deserves a mention.
Yep.
He's some crazy ones.
But I do miss those days. We got into a period of time there for about a month or two where every match we'd pick a theme and we'd all change our names.
Yeah,
I remember
yep.
we had some fun. Now it was a pain in the butt trying to track scores because you had to figure out who was actually who because of the leaderboard. The names were all messed up.
God.
Right.
But we had a lot of fun. I do remember one that I don't remember who we were playing, but I think they got offended for the wrong reason. But what we did was we basically chose names where we were going to make fun of somebody. You just put like a little hand arrow up or down and put like better than or this person sucks or something like that. So on the leaderboard, you would just end up pointing at somebody below you and kind of making fun of them. But you had no idea where you were going to end up in the leaderboard. So the hope was you would end up with one of your buddies on USA right below you and you could tell them they have a small penis or something.
That may have been like Elite Latina or España, and I forget, one of those teams.
Yeah.
I remember it was Hispana, and I showed them the game chat. Like, look, we came up with this theme before we even matched, before we even started matching. As you can see, half of them are making fun of each other, and that's kind of the whole point. That was the whole point of it. It's nothing. It's never ever anything personal. It's just USA trying to have a laugh. So and most of the time it's at our expense. We love having laughs at our expense.
We do.
Trust me, I think everyone else. I mean, at least here in Reddit, we also. Honestly, it's hilarious. Like you guys need to do more videos. Seriously, we need more videos.
I think we'll do an EO Part 2 video as Unity starts quaking in their boots right now. But yeah, I think that's.
Rosita, don't click away. Stay. Well, this one is from an ex-USA player. Now he's with the top guns over at Reddit, Zeki. Zeki asks, what are some of the most memorable matches you've had in the game?
Question for, this is for me, right?
Yeah, correct.
Memorable matches. My goodness, there's been a couple. One that comes to the top of my mind is the Malaysia match. Yeah, that was great. It was also around 4th of July, so that was an amazing match because, but kind of for the wrong reasons. That was the Patience event, and I know off the top of your head, you're probably not going to remember it, but that had an insane wheelie in the city stage with a monster truck.
Yep.
It was at the time Discord and Reddit were playing each other in that event. And they had, I want to say off the top of my head, I don't know, 10 or 11 10K wheelies in that, right? Malaysia had 14 or 15 by themselves. 10K. It was an impossible wheelie stage, and they had like 15 10K wheelies. I still have the screenshot. It was like a sea of blue on that stage with just 2 USA players on the second page. So something didn't look right, but it kept the score close. They were actually ahead the entire way, and we were all like, "What's going on here?" Thank God we were killing them in the other 3 stages, and we kept it close. But obviously, the guys on the team, like, they weren't happy. But and credit to the guys, instead of folding and saying, you know what, this is funny business, we're not dealing with it. The guys fought and they fought and they fought. And in the end, Tig laid down the winning run in the last 5 minutes, and the team just went nuts. We were so happy to be able to pull that out against all the odds, and that was amazing. So that one definitely sticks out in my mind. Let's see. There's been a couple. Let's see. The first 2 that we played against Noobs and Neo, that was great because that kind of set the tone for who we are, what our team is going to be, that we're here and we're here to stay. So that was another good one. Gosh, There's been a few.
Yeah, that's fine.
So go ahead.
Hulk.
Yeah. What about Actuary? Anything stands out?
I think one of the ones I commented on earlier when we were playing Vereshak's team before the merge and the creation of TNO, and Big D came in. Gosh, they only had maybe an hour left in that match, if that. And Vereshak was sitting on the very top, and they were beating us by maybe 30, 40 points or something. And Big D suddenly laid down D top run, passed Vereshak, and got us the win.
That was a good one. Okay, let's see what else we have as far as questions go. Okay, this one is from Epi on Team Discord. This is, I guess, a question for both. WTF did you do with our best DC mate, LHT, in USA?
What did we do? LHT is very black and white when it comes to a lot of things, and let me tell you, he's been a friend of mine. And I say a friend, not a teammate, not a buddy. He and I have spoken almost daily since going all the way back to summer of 2018. Back when he was on. He joined Mutineers. He was on, I want to say, Red Cap for a while. Like, this is how far back we go. And then he and his Discord tag was Teabag and Shag. That was the funniest thing that I've seen. Yeah, he comes up with some good ones. But then he joined Mutineers for a while, and then he left Mutineers, and but we still maintained a friendship. He went to EC for a while, still maintained the friendship. Went to Discord for a long time, still maintained the friendship. Had a falling out with them, and because of the friendship that we had for so long, he joins USA. And I was finally like, yes, my best mate, finally here. He's a great player, and we had a lot of fun on USA. We had this saying, LHT, never miss an opportunity to be like, I told you so. Because he always ended up like being on the right side of a situation or a question, like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? He's like, well, we should do this. And as it played out, it was like, oh, LHT was right. So, we kind of made him this like shirt saying, told you so. his I told you so shirt. Then there was some things going on in the FP server that he didn't agree with. And quite honestly, most of the team agreed with his standpoint, and we told him so, and we told whoever was would ask. We told him the same thing, like we don't blame him. We understand completely where he's coming from because that's where we come from. But he left the team. He told me that at the time when he left the team because he wanted to go on a mission, but he didn't want it to affect USA, the team. He didn't want us to get any fallout from it, and that's why he left. So as for what we did, don't know. It sounded like at the time it was just his plan to leave so that way whatever he didn't look bad on us. But that's like I said, I've been friends with him for almost 2 years now, and in my mind, like we still are. I'll never say a bad word about LHC. He's a great guy. He's a great player. He definitely stands by his words, which is what we USA. So I have nothing but respect for the guy.
And that's also a point that, number one, I know he'd be welcome back. Which does not happen on a lot of teams. So if you're playing on a team and you leave the team, a lot of times you get a lot of hate for it. A lot of, you screwed us. You did this.
Wait, Hulk.
Yeah.
I can only think of one team in particular that does that, and I'm not going to mention it.
No, there's quite a few actually.
There's a few.
get into a lot of trouble if you leave.
Yeah,
So,
and a lot of guys that we have on our team now came from teams like that. So I know that there's a few.
yeah, so when someone leaves USA, take LHT, take Zeke for example. If he decides tomorrow he wants to come back, he'll be back. It's not like, oh, you left us, we hate you now, you're a traitor, you're this, you're that. It's like, all right, cool, man. Like, it's been awesome. Come back whenever you want, and that's unique, I think.
Yeah, you can't steal what you don't own. I mean, we don't own anybody. And I think a lot of teams like lose sight of that. It's like, wait a minute, how did I steal your player when you don't own them in the first place? And I don't putting a gun to their head. It's they did what they felt was best for them, and how can you knock a man for doing that? Or a woman.
So speaking of some of the team stuff, what do you think about some of these recent resets we've seen?
Well, I think that I'm really happy with FS. I did the effort that FS has been putting in lately, as far as that goes, because I remember back, 2018, 2019, it was like Wild Wild West. Guys and teams were just doing whatever, didn't care, weren't getting punished for it. Even it would be spoken on FS Discord, some of the issues, and FS wasn't even responding, almost like they didn't care. And they addressed that and they said, yeah, we do care. Eventually they addressed it and said, we do care, and we're dealing with it. I think I think it's a little, I don't know. I want to say I do think there's a little bias. I'll give an example. Okay. You had Turtle on the podcast a little while ago, right? And he was going over the whole Hotham situation. Again, being as honest and transparent as he could be, which again, being on USA, we respect that. If you made a mistake, own your mistake. It's fine. Everybody makes mistakes, but at least own it and don't try and hide behind some like bullshit plausible deniability. Because it comes across as lame, and I think it's a little insulting to the community, because it's like, okay, well, we're not stupid. If it smells like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. You can say all the while, oh, you can't prove anything and nobody knows. Yeah, okay, fine. But what happened was, Hotham, Turtle was shown Discord chats, leaked Discord chats, that Hotham did what he did. Okay, shared some accounts. Turtle addressed the situation, said, hey, look, we knew it wasn't right, but we believe in second chances, and so we're not gonna kick them. We believe in second chances. And next thing you know, Hotham's banned and they get reset, right? But then you have a team like Bereshek, TNO. I remember there was a case where it was Terror. He had guys Terror and Slavko on the team, and Terror and Slavko, and it was the same situation, the exact same situation. He was shown like, hey, look, and these are people genuinely trying to look out for him. Say, hey, look, you've got these guys. There's this chat there, themselves specifically saying, hey, I played accounts for this team and that team. Thanks, mate, for helping us out, blah, 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 blah. But instead of being honest and transparent about it, it's quiet, cricket. Didn't address it, kind of avoided it. I think somebody might have said, oh, well, DC can be fake, It's like, come on, man. Like, why? For what purpose? Again, that plausible deniability. If there's plausible deniability there, we'll lean on it. So, but, and of course, like 2 days later, they're both banned, but the team's not punished, just them. So I thought that was a little, I don't know, not fair, because, it seemed like Turtle had gotten punished for being honest. And I don't think that that's really like the message that FS wants to send, that, hey, look, if there's something going on in your team, and you're notified, just be quiet about it. Just be quiet about it, and say that it could be fake. Anything could be fake. Just ask the
Right.
camera. Anything could be fake. So, and just to lead on that, I think that wasn't fair. I don't understand how Turtle gets reset, his team reset for trying to be honest and transparent, whereas that other team avoids the situation, and then they had it times two, and it's just the players get banned, and there's no further consequences for it. I think that's not a precedent that FS really wants to, or a message that FS really wants to send. And this is not me, like, oh, I like Turtle, I don't like Barashak. Has nothing to do with that. You could input any team leader, any team leader into that same situation, and the facts remain. So I just, I don't know, that one didn't sit well with me, only because I felt like it encourages teams to be evasive, whenever a problem like that comes out, and that's not something that should be promoted.
It's true.
Yeah, I fully support that. I really do, because I think, like you said, I think for the most part, like, we've seen any fair team that has been, I don't want to say exposed, but they had a few sour apples. They have come forward to explain that, the situation, and own up to whatever was done wrongly. And like you said, like, every other team has been punished regardless of their after actions. But then, there's, I'm not going to say in particular Vereshak's team, because there's other teams out there as well. But this happens, and then, nobody goes unpunished.
It's true. Here's a good question for both of you guys. This kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of things we ask each guest. But this one was asked by RS Jesco USA. He's got a USA tag. I don't know if he plays for USA. Maybe it's some kind of different USA team. But this is a question for both. Who do you think is the best player? Well, you already answered who your best player on your own team. But this part's interesting. If you could each pick 3 people to join the team, who would it be and why?
Good question.
Besides me, of course.
There's so many good players.
There are. But and again, with USA, it's kind of complicated, because, as we touched on before, we don't just take any high scoring screenshot that comes our way. We have to know that you have a sense of humor. We have to know that you won't take things, personally, once we start, joking around and trying to bond with you. We have to know that, you're legitimate, that your account is legitimate, first and foremost, to the best of our knowledge, at the very least. I mean, and my personal thing, being a leader, I really respect the guys that lead and produce great scores. Like Gary, Juanito, Gary.
Yes, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. He's a complete stud on the track, but he's a very good leader too. He puts in a lot of work, and I respect those guys, being a leader that can't really score. I really like, those are the guys that I respect, and I'm in awe of. Like, how do you lead your team and still produce what you do? There's another guy, JRD. He plays for Faction now. He's very involved in leadership and tracking and all the support work and extracurriculars. But still, he can lay down, a monster score too. Gosh, who else? Gary, JRD. Oh, Gold Fusion. There you go. There's my third. Gold Fusion.
Beast.
Who's that?
EC Huckleberry, right now. And again, the guy is just, I speak to him recently. I've been speaking to him a lot more, but he puts in a lot of work. That's not, sweaty hands. mashing throttle and brake to support his team, tracking teams, networking and whatnot, but still he'll come in and just kill it.
He's a really good player.
Yeah. He's elite. He's an elite level player. And on top of that, he's a really, really good leader. So, and me being a leader on USA, that's kind of where I would lean towards guys who can do both, who can lead and command respect and lay down killer scores. So
we have 3 brand new players brought to this question. I like that. Actuary, what do you think?
Yeah.
Can I start by saying Zeke, since he's no longer on our team?
Yeah.
Say Zeke, Ozzy, come home. That was a hashtag we had for a while when he left to go start the Aussie New Zealand merger. But take Zeke off the board. I have a lot of respect. I'd say Turtle. I have a lot of respect for that guy and his skills. Morobox is another one. And then I'd probably say Razor.
Razor's
those three guys to me are they're in just another stratosphere most of the time. It's so hard to do what they do. So a lot of respect. I mean, I watched a lot of the videos from Turtle and Morobox as I started, kind of coming up in the GP and trying to learn how to play really well. And, I have a lot of respect for those guys.
Good choices. And sorry, this is so unrelated, but somebody in the Reddit server, they post. Oh, actually, it was Avi Toho. He posted a picture of this Bulgarian team that it's called the Ship, and in their description it reads, "Hi Marabox, come on the ship for 1 week, please."
Speaking of descriptions, USA has a good new one out. You check it out when you get a chance.
Oh, I'll check it out.
That along with most of our good ideas came out from the night of drinking.
It's true.
all good ideas come after a night of drinking.
Yeah.
Well, as always, before the hint for the next guest, I mean, we basically almost touched on it. But what are your top 3 players in the game, and which players? Actually no, yeah, just the top 3 players, because you already answered basically like which 3 players you'd like to be in your team.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I said, from my perspective, those guys that can do it all are the best players in the game. Like I said, if you have skill, anybody can sit there, for 12 hours a day, just, grinding cops, doing adventures and challenges and whatnot, and be really good. But, it takes, leading is not something you can practice. It's not something that you can, you can improve, but it's not something that you can really measure, So the fact that, those guys have the skills and the game skills and the leadership skills, to me, puts them above the rest. I mean, but if you're just talking straight scores, the guy Protect, he's insane.
Oh my God, he's insane.
5K GP and a 40K score, like, that's ridiculous.
He's insane, honestly. Like, right now, he's probably one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, sorry, repeating myself. I'm still basically tipsy.
I know you're going fanboy. You're having your fanboy moment. I understand. But him. Let's see. Goodness, North. I mean, Beefeater's really good. I mean, it's hard because it depends a lot on the event and whatnot. But
I'm surprised you haven't said Cody, and he's American.
There's just so many names, but yeah, absolutely, Cody. Cody's up there. I haven't really spoken to Cody ever, so I don't really know him. I know of him, and unlike most teams, I really don't stalk Reddit scores. I just kind of like know that, yeah, okay, well, you're really strong. But yeah, Cody's up there, and I don't want to go just American. Morobox is insanely talented. I think he's kind of like a general consensus top 3 or 5.
Yep.
Yeah. And sorry to interrupt. I just want to give a quick shout out to Cody because I think a few days ago, or maybe a week ago, he won I think season 2 of Mono Wars.
Oh yeah, he's a Mono War guy.
Oh, crazy.
We have
some of those guys
we
are
have Rude
insane.
Boy. Who does it from our team? I know Rude Boy does. LHT did it.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for a little while.
Yeah, Actuary actually did it for a little while, but Rude Boy is our mono guy. Actuary is really good too. LHT was really good. Hill, not on the team, but again, he likes the mono wheel and he's really skilled at it.
Yeah, go spend a week with those Mono War guys, and you'll learn what that thing's actually.
Yeah, and now we have to
It's
since
scary.
the merge, we have an in-house USA Nemesis mono wheel freak by the name of Daspo.
Daspo.
Yeah, he's the one that set it up. I think he runs.
He's the mono war. Yeah, absolutely.
And he actually jumped 176 meters on the last event, track 1, with the mono wheel. 10K.
And he also happens to be a really, really, really cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really nice.
He's a really great guy.
I'm just waiting for the day when they actually give us an event where we have to use the mono wheel for something other than a stupid hill climb or soccer.
Yeah, that's true for a TA track.
There's so many of us guys that have learned how to race the mono wheel pretty quick that we'd love a time attack where we actually get to use it. But it always ends up being mono wheel is just like, oh, yep, climb this hill or kick this soccer ball.
They were going to do an event, a team event where it's just mono wheel or something like that.
They did it as a public event. It was a week of Mono War public event stuff.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I was going to be like, Fingersoft, if you're listening, you know what to do next. Bring us a only mono wheel event.
Oh, no.
I didn't do all that.
Doesn't have to be only mono wheel, but they got to figure out a way to pick a track where the mono wheel may be the fastest vehicle that they give you.
Yeah, I agree.
Or you've got to use the other vehicles like, put mono wheel, Moonlander, put a bunch of cars that no one likes to use. But that way the mono wheel is the fastest at the time attack, and let's have at it.
I would think maybe Hub Cup because of the way the hills are set. You could die, or you could really get some good speed going. But I mean, there's probably other cars or other vehicles that'll be faster. But if they include something like the scooter, and let me not give FS any more.
Fuck the scooter. No.
Yeah, let me not give FS any more ideas on how to make our lives miserable.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've been having fun with the scooter on this stupid moon, the current public event with the moon races. It's fun trying to beat buses and moonlanders using the scooter with thrusters. That's what I've been doing since I've already cleared the 400
Probably a hilarious ghost
I hear
watching
painful.
Actuary in his scooter flying past you.
Yeah, I haven't cracked top 3 yet, but I've had a couple top 5 finishes. I'm still waiting to get a podium so I can get a screenshot of it.
So we have, as we're wrapping up here, Actuary, do you want to give the hint for the next guest?
Sure, I can give that hint. Let's see. Moto is his motto, no matter the stage.
Say that 3 times fast.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a tongue twister. Moto is his motto, no matter the stage.
It's Bloops from Team USA.
Bloops is pretty good with that
He's
moto.
really good.
You know what I'm starting to see, that any episode of the podcast, like how good it is decided on how good the hint is.
Yeah.
For the next guest.
Didn't they say that our hint sucked though?
No, they didn't. They were good. Fantastic hints.
So we didn't get a chance to touch on this, but I got to throw it out there just because I think it's funny. So today I finally maxed out my primary account. Got that GP all the way at 9170, so I'm excited
There you
about
go.
that.
Big achievement.
But
Oh yes.
yeah. So
Me too, by the way.
But I when you're talking about who the best players are in the world, and to me, it's like, well, there's kind of three categories. You got time attack guys, you got adventure guys, you got team event guys, right? And everyone's kind of got their specialty. And there's a couple guys that can do all those really well. I definitely put myself in the I like time attack and I like team event. I hate adventure with a passion.
I feel you.
So I can probably say I think I'm the only player in the game right now who's got a max GP and has not yet unlocked those hard adventure courses.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have Canyoneer?
I'm not even close. I've got like 200,000 stars.
He hasn't even unlocked
Oh wow.
the hard.
I haven't unlocked the hard courses.
Tent City.
Yeah, I unlocked one of the 3 hard courses.
Oh, you're worse than me. I only grinded Canyoneer just to get the cap and flex it. But after that, I hate adventure. Like, I can't remember the last time I touched it.
Is that an honest question?
A million stars.
What's Canyoneer? That's in the game?
Canyoneer is when you hit 1 million stars
Sorry?
in adventure mode.
Who the hell is that?
I think
if you're my friend, don't look at my adventure points, please.
It took me like 3 months to go from Canyoneer 7 to 8, so I'm right there with you. The only thing I do in adventure mode is get like the baby Jeep out and just hop around for a little while and get some coins.
Well, we have on our Huerta on our team. He's like adventure legend. You know?
Yeah.
Some guys like it and some guys don't. It's not my thing really. Big Al's great for public event. He's a public event monster and great in PE. But I don't know too many guys that, or at least on USA, that are like really, aside from Huerta, that are really, really hardcore into the adventure.
Yeah, I mean, like Lunatic Yana was a top 10 local adventure guy too.
Oh, he's insane at team events as well.
All right, well, this has been a fun podcast. It's cool to have the 2 teammates of mine on. We certainly appreciate you guys giving us your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks to the both of you. And Actuary, like I said, feel free to come by Reddit anytime.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah, and especially now that I know that there's
stop.
another Actuary on your team, not by screen name, but by profession. I thought
Exactly. So you already have a friend. Oh, well, now you have 2. No, 3. Zeke is there as well.
only temporarily
4 now.
No, I'm joking, guys. But I would definitely love to come by USA one day and
absolutely.
have a laugh.
You're more than welcome. I don't know if you're in our server, but we can arrange that too. There's plenty of laughs to be had there. Plenty.
Yep.
I'm in your server, and I still haven't been greeted properly because I have no access to the plus 18 channels.
Really?
Actually, so I just got a screenshot. Actuary, he circled it and said he just hit 35K while recording the podcast as 4x4 was talking. So,
oh my! See, look at this guy. Oh, I wish I could do that so easily.
He's
just putting in work.
Also, thank you for your matching time. Now I know how to shark you.
for our matching time.
Yeah, he put it with the matching time as well.
I didn't see the thing. Wait a
He did. Yeah.
No, but I'm joking.
He pulled the turbo.
Yes, he did.
Pulled the turbo. We have a couple ways of pulling a turbo. I pulled the turbo revealing the match time. I did not blow my entire stash of tickets.
That's true.
First step.
I might push Krill to pull another Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, no, he'll do it on his own.
Yeah, he doesn't need any encouragement.
All right, guys. Well, no, really, thank you for coming on. I really had a lot of fun, and I never thought poorly of USA or anything, but I definitely got to know you guys in a different light, and it's my pleasure being here with you guys.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Appreciate the invite.
You got it.
Anytime. You're welcome to come back anytime.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot, and we will catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Sounds good.